Kia ora, good evening. You are here with Boys Get Paid. No Matt Daddy tonight. He's out of action. He is on daddy duty. Don't blame him after coming back from Vegas. Looking like $1,000,000 he was this morning. How good? Kimmies, how are you, mate?
Oh, mate, absolutely flying. I think Matt might still be in Vegas. I don't know if we can find him. But anyway, I'm sure we'll hold the fort. We'll be all right. Let's go.
At least he didn't get kicked out of his own hotel room. I don't know who that was, but it was someone around here apparently.
Not me. Not me. Someone from the ACC.
How good Champions Day weekend is here. The biggest race day ever in New Zealand. I'm frothing the fields. I've just been looking through them non-stop. I cannot stop looking at them. I don't think I've got much work done this week because I just can't stop thinking about who I'm going to be backing and how much I'm going to be punting this weekend. How are you feeling about it, mate?
Yeah, mate, I am. I'm looking forward to it. Going through the fields, it's a very, very good day of racing, and it's just amazing to have something like this here in New Zealand, the Big E, and have all these people so keen. It's a who's who of racing in the background here at the Full-Time Sports Bar where we're currently live from. I've seen some of the trainers even going in there. I'm sure they're allowed to have a bet. Maybe they're running a syndicate in there without us, but who knows? It's all happening. Glenn Boss is over there as well. Samantha, all I do is win over there. It is just all go. Who are you most looking forward to seeing on Saturday?
With my heart, Son of Sun.
Son of Sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm most looking forward to seeing him go over 2 miles. I think probably just the pinnacle of everything is the Kiwi. Like it's so new, the ingenuity, the Kiwi horses, the Bjorn Baker factor. Like anything can happen in that race, and I think it's such a quality, even field, and I think the barrier draws really evened out that race. So I think that's going to be a race for the ages.
Well, we'd love to know from the people out there who they think is going to win this weekend. Let us know who your best bet is at Ellerslie, because I believe that we have a little bit of a special for the people out there, Dan.
Yeah, it is, mate. Yeah, and we're calling it the People's Champion. So I put out a post this afternoon. I think the Facebook one already had over 100 comments. Instagram had over 40 as well. So there is a lot of interest. But basically what we're going to do is we are going to go and pick one of the horses that is most picked in the comments, and we're going to make that one the People's Champion. The TAB are going to boost it out for us.
Nice, and we've got a number of horses already blessed. So each week, obviously, we have a blessed bet, which is the horse that we're probably most keen on to win. And this week, we're actually able to have basically a blessed bet each for each of the BGP tipsters. And then we're going to get one from the community, and that'll be the community's champion. So we'll get through what all of those are later on in the podcast. But let us know in the comments or on social media what your best bet is at Ellerslie this weekend, and we will be selecting one of those to become the People's Champion, and you're going to get the odds boost from the TAB.
How good. And as a bit of a bonus as well, we're going to select one of the people that chose that horse, and we're going to chuck $100 on those boosted odds as well. Before we go and get to Champions Day and all the racing and the great racing that is happening this weekend, Kimmy's Vegas. I haven't heard much about it, but I seen a couple of blokes this morning, bright and early, shooting some film for the TAB who looked like they'd been on an expedition. Anything you can tell me about what happened? Maybe just give us a bit of background on what you did and how you went, because I think it started off in LA at a hockey game that I hear you're now an expert at. You know all about hockey.
It's just a small few days, mate. We just ventured to America, man, and got out some USD and had a little play around, We started off in LA and went to the hockey, and we ended up going out and seeing a couple of mates on the Friday night, which you can imagine, first night fever, you end up having a couple too many, so pretty dusty, but it's only a 45-minute flight from LA to Vegas. You get to Vegas, and it's just like, right, it is on. There's slots in the airport. A couple of the people on the tour with Boys Trip had 200 people on this tour. A couple of them couldn't help themselves, and they were straight into the slappers at the airport, but yeah, we obviously went to the Warriors on the Saturday, and that stadium there, Allegiant Stadium or whatever it's called, I can't really remember, but I think we taxied there. Yeah, anyway, it was a little bit disappointing with the Warriors not going so well, but it was awesome to get over there and see so many Kiwi people over there. If you've never been to Vegas, sheesh, I'd say you got to have some serious stamina. I reckon a marathon's probably 4 days. and that's probably about as much as you need. But I'm sure there'll be a few stories to come out. But yeah, I tell you what, there was no winning collects over there. We managed to get our phones on roaming so we could watch all the racing back here in New Zealand as well. And we were even trying to watch. I think we were watching Trentham from the Warriors game.
God.
Yeah, we're sitting next to Frano Bodica and getting him like handing over his $20 US notes and putting bets on for him, and they weren't winning, and he wasn't very impressed. I'll give you the tip.
And so did you guys, so I didn't quite understand how it worked on the day, because the Warriors were, I guess, the first NRL game, right? So there was a game before that. Was that like the English?
Yeah, we didn't go to that, so we
Okay.
just chose to just go to the Warriors game. But you could go to all 4 games, but once you were in, you couldn't get out. So basically, there were no day passes, and also no passes like in and out, I think is what they call it. But yeah, we chose just to go to the Warriors game, but that was about enough because the spirits were a little bit dampened.
Oh,
That.
right. So then basically you had to leave straight after that because someone else was coming to take your seat
No,
for the other games?
No,
or?
no, your seat has you there for the 4 games.
Okay.
But basically, like once you've gone in, you can't like leave and come back because there's 4 games. It was like I don't know, there's like 8 hours of league plus gaps and stuff. We didn't want to sit there for the whole time.
Yeah.
Other people did. They went for all 4, but we didn't stick around for the Panthers game. Yeah.
You guys just went straight back and started smacking some $12 spins on the pokies.
Well, we had to test the tables out, make sure they were working, and have a crack at the blackjack, and yeah, got cleaned up at that. We ended up at some nightclub of a whole heap of other Kiwis, but it was character building stuff.
Yeah, okay, interesting. All right, well, I think I'll get you about 10 beers deep and start asking you stories on Saturday, because I reckon I'll get more out of you then. Let's jump into it. Barfoot and Thompson Champions Day. We've got a whole lot going on. Let's kick it off with the competition that we have. So for everyone out there that has been living under a rock and maybe doesn't know, if you come along to Champions Day, you get a chance, if you come into the BGP room, to join into a competition.
Yeah, so we've got a $15,000 prize pool. So basically, everyone's going to be sent a form to fill out, and you just have to pick who's going to win races 1 through 10. Doesn't mean you have to get them all right, but basically, if your horse wins, you get 3 points, 2 points for second, 1 point for third, and the person with the most points over the 10 races is going to win $10,000, and then second is $2,500 cash, and then third is a $2,500 bonus cash allocation from the TAB. So Auckland Thoroughbred Racing and the TAB and BGP have all kicked in to sponsor the prizes. So hopefully we have some excited people in the room. And typically when these are run, because you might back Alabama Less as an example and get 3 points, but then someone else might have a $30 shot later in the day, but only get 3 points as well. So it's actually really even, and you're not really down and out, because normally the winners finish with around the same points. So what we do is we then take $1 each way, a fake $1 each way on each of the runners as well, to start to work out what your tote accumulation would have been to split the winners, because I'd imagine that first, second, and third there will be identical points, but it'll come down to the tote divvies, and then it'll also come down to who got their tips in sooner, should they have the identical picks, which we haven't seen happen before.
Right, okay. Wow.
So everybody who comes to the room with us is going to get a link to fill out, and they can enter it. So you have to be in the room at the end with your ticket. Well, you have to have a ticket to the event. You might have ducked off downstairs, and it is what it is. But hopefully they're still in the room, and we can celebrate with them after the last.
Yeah, 100%. And so the way the event's going to work is anyone that's bought a ticket is going to be sent a link. And then if they've bought, say, tickets for 3 other people, then they're going to be asked to send that link to their friends that they've purchased tickets for.
Yeah, for sure. You just forward that on to your mates that you've got coming with you, and then as long as they can prove that they've got a ticket, then they can win the comp.
Awesome. How good. And so we're going to hopefully send the first batch of links out to everyone that's bought tickets on the Friday night, hopefully around 5 or 6 p.m. And then we're going to do the final batch at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. So everyone is going to be, hopefully you'll get your link at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then that'll be your chance to get on all your picks in before the first race. So you'll have a couple of hours there. So, I mean, the idea would be that you've done your study, you've picked your winners before then. Okay, and so the event itself, $195 now per ticket, gets you a couple of beers and a meal throughout the day. Ellerslie's completely sold out. All the hospitality is gone. We are the only show in town.
Sheesh, how good. And there's a chance to win 10 G's in cash. How good's that?
Yeah.
Someone's going to be fired up. No, I'm looking forward to it, mate. I'm going to be like, obviously I'm going to be entering myself, and there's no rigging of this comp, so I'm fairly confident I can win it.
Yeah, well, it's funny that you say that because I was chatting to the goat last night because I was trying to get him to give me a best bet from Ellerslie so that we could boost it out, and he was like, "Oh, I don't really like anything." He's like, "I do kind of like something like that, but I think it's a win chance in the last." But obviously, Matt already had one in that
Oh
race,
yeah,
so he's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know if I want to get it." And I was like, "Oh, who is it, mate? I want to back it." And he goes, "Are you in the comp?" I was
the
like, "Come on,
the
mate."
goat's a competitive man, mate.
He's a
He'll
very
be
competitive. But he didn't want to. He was like, "Mate, I'm not giving that to you now. I'll
yeah,
give it
love
to
it.
you after the comp started." I was all right, mate. No worries. As you can probably hear, there's a fair bit going on in the background here. They're
Plenty.
going to be doing a bunch of interviews with Glenn Boss and a bunch of other slot holders, etc. But we'll just work our way through as we keep going. So if you need some tickets to come to Champions Day, go to ellerslie.co.nz. If you go to Champions Day and you go to the tickets web, like the only tickets that you can get apart from general admission, I think general admission $35 at the moment. I think they might be going up to $50 as well for the general admission for the
Wow.
last few. So
Well,
190 bucks, $95 is good value.
I think so. Well, you get 2 beers and a meal as well in our room. Obviously, that comes with the ticket. But you got to remember as well that with good weather in Auckland, I think you'll find a lot of people will be grabbing tickets on Saturday when they decide like, are we going? Like, yep, we're going. It's an epic day. So I'd say that our room will sell well, and GA as well will sell well. So I heard some rumours before that they might expect 12,000 people there.
How
Big
good.
old go, and a big old after party as well. Jack's
Yeah, and
Jones.
we're the only room that you come to and you get a chance to win 15 grand or 10 grand cash.
True story.
Right. Let's jump into this weekend's racing and we'll see how quickly we get through these races because we might be able to get through a few more. But let's start with the Sistema Stakes, which is race 4 at Ellerslie. Kimmies, why don't you kick us off, mate?
Yeah, what a field this is. You've got Return to Conquer and La Dorada going head to head. Miss Ziggy was a pretty good run last start, maybe just a little bit off some of these and did get beaten up by that good horse of Tony Pike's there. So this is going to be tough. Look, I was really impressed with La Dorada going into the Karaka Millions, and the horse ended up winning. And then goes on and wins again. I thought it was headed and was going to get beat last start by to cap it all, but managed to fight back, and I thought that was very, very impressive. So I think from barrier 7, maybe that's the knock, $3.80 out to $4. But yeah, I don't know. Been going really good. I'm going to stick with the ship. Obviously, there's a big opinion of Return to Conquer, and I'm sure they'll be wanting to win that race with a colt. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe La Dorada is just one out of the box. So I'm going to stick with.
You're going to stick with La Dorada?
Yep.
Okay.
See if Ted can get it done.
Yeah, I thought Lucy in the Sky was very, very impressive on debut. Gets a good barrier draw here, and I think that she is a very, very classy filly. But I agree with you on La Dorada for those 2 points that you made. Like a very, very brave filly.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I've necessarily seen that from Return to Conquer because I feel like he's maybe not been put under a huge amount of pressure, maybe like she has. But she has been put under pressure 2 times in a row and proven that she's brave and ready to fight. And I could see maybe a situation where they're going head to head in that last 100 meters, and it's almost doesn't necessarily come down to who's the classiest one. It comes down to who's the grittiest, and maybe she is just a little bit more gritty. So I tend to agree with you. La Dorada at the $4 versus the $2.45. I'm willing to have a go, but I'm also thinking I'll probably have a little saver just in case it's Lucy in the Sky and the famous Cambridge stud colours, $9 and $2.60. I'll probably just have a little each way play on that as well. Who will you be choosing for your competition, mate? Will it be La Dorada?
Yeah, I'll put La Dorada on top in the comp. I think the horse that if I was going to see a little blowout would be that to cap it all. I just see Marshy there before. Obviously La Dorada still ended up beating it, but maybe with a third run under the belt, that could be the way to go. But drawn out in barrier 8, but Sam Spratt's riding really well. So, yeah, I think that, if I was going to go rough, I'd probably go to Capital on top.
Nice one, mate. And let's move on to race number 6 at Ellerslie, the New Zealand Breeders' Stakes. Oh, hang on. That's the Bone Crusher.
Oh, we got that the wrong way. Who
Yep,
you
we do. Let's go to the Bone Crusher, and then we can go on to the New Zealand Breeders' Stakes. But
crushing bones.
yeah, let's crush some bones in race number 6.
Something's been crushed in this, mate, already.
There has been, mate. Well, why don't you kick us off again?
Well, Kelly will thrash you. 16s into 7s. That is insane. It was a very, very good run last start, and now up to the 2,000 metres. So, yeah, interesting to see the little bit of a drift there on El Vencedor. Gee, that horse just keeps on winning. It's I think a lot of people may remember back to the Cup Week Punters Club. I think we had 75 or 79,000 on El Vencedor back in 2022, and we were unstuck on a wet track at Tauranga, I believe. But this horse is just absolutely kicking their heads in wherever it goes. And I think we actually asked if the owners could bring the horse up to the BGP room on Saturday. But yeah, look, who's it going to be? I wondered. I don't ever tip this horse, but I wondered if maybe a horse like La Creek could be the horse to beat El Vencedor. But yeah, seeing the money come for Kelly Alfarasha is pretty crazy. But the drift has really surprised me for Orchestral. $3.30 up to $4. I was off the horse on Karaka Millions night, and comes out and wins, and then I suppose stays at the mile. But now up to 2,000 metres, is this the master stroke, and Orchestral goes round and just puts them away? But yeah, look, I don't know. I'm kind of one of those people where I'm like, oh, can a horse keep winning? Well, yeah, probably can, and there's no reason it can't. But then I get sick for trying to find a reason that they can't, and I end up going, right, well, maybe I've got to jump ship and go for something like La Creek, which I don't normally get on. So I don't know how I'm going to play this one for the comp, but maybe La Creek at the $4.20 is a bit of money on as well, 5s into 4.2, to suggest that, maybe there is still a bit of confidence around this horse. And yeah, it has been pretty good. So maybe that's the way, obviously just behind Snazzy Tabby there too. So, yeah, that's for me, mate. I'll go La Creek to upset the favourite punters with El Vencedor. What about yourself?
I think I just see Robert Wellwood there, is it, with Marshy, just in the white shirt facing the other way there.
Yes.
He did come over and shook my hand and said g'day. I was like, oh, God, he remembers me.
Hey,
Dad, how are you? So I've been tossing up about this race, and I find it really hard to go past El Vencedor with how well he's been going. Like he just keeps winning and just keeps winning. But that run of Orchestral's last start over the 1,600 metres in behind El Vencedor just had a massive flashing light. Like that last 50 metres, 70 metres, she powered through the line. And it seems like she has just been absolutely screaming out for 2,000 metres. The fact that we're getting $4 again for Orchestral, I hope she drifts more. Like I hope we get $5, and I'll just go son of son all in on her.
Sheesh, son of sons type. That's a lot of scenes because it's before anyway, so you're gonna be in trouble there. But anyway, I no doubt that you'll be having a crack. I guess what if there was to be a blowout in this field? Maybe it was Kelly Alfarasha, but 16s into 7s. Now at $7, it's can you ever go?
Fungi, who was pretty bloody good from well back in the field at Tarapa, wasn't it? In behind El Vencedor and La Creek, like he came from a mile back.
Yeah.
Not many horses were making that much ground. The thing I struggle with is it's a very small field, and is the pace just going to be dictated by El Vencedor, and whatever he wants to do, he'll do? Like who else is going to take him on? Probably not much there.
And won 4 from 5 at Ellerslie has El Vencedor. So yeah, very, very hard to argue against that $2 quote. But $1.95 out to $2.10. Is anybody taking the double up? Let us know in the comments. Is El Vencedor a genuine double up? Is it a red-black? Or do you stay away?
Who did you have last week? It was the
Princey one.
The Princey one. He was a double up.
Yeah, easy work. I had to set my alarm. I was having a nap over there in Vegas after a rather large night and had to wake up to watch it, and that really got the spirits back up. So I was managed to get out of bed after that and head to a function actually. G Lane was there. He was doing. Let's say there's some legal things you can do in California. And then he was on stage. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that, but anyway, he did a good job, all things considered.
Right, so you're with
La Creek.
La Creek. Okay, I'm with Orchestral there. All right, let's jump to race number 5, and it is the Thoroughbred New Zealand Breeders' Stakes over 1,600 metres. We've got Legato taking on the likes of Aquarello, Jaffe, Merchant Queen, Conasana coming back for more. Campionessa taking some money, 26s into $20. Where are you going, babe? This is interesting. I made a comment to someone the other day. Oh, I think it was the Tab, actually, funny enough, because they were saying something about this horse anyway, and I said, oh, gee whiz, like,
Oh,
that's a way for the Tab to make money because this horse loves to get beaten on big days.
well, yeah, gee, my confidence is shot to bits backing horses like Legato on big days and the Kelso runners. No disrespect to them, but obviously we've come unstuck for maybe about 3 million in punters clubs. So I don't know if I could do it again, but we don't have a punters club on Saturdays, so maybe, that first win was just outstanding. And second up, this horse is very good. 2 wins and then a third. Goes well at Ellerslie as well. Good track's going to be no concern. So I think Ryan Elliott will be looking to make amends and get this horse home at $1.60. But then when you see Belclair sitting directly underneath it, shit, it just gives you a bloody KTSD, which is Caracamillion trauma, something like that. Anyway, if you're not, like, if we took Legato out of the market, like, who do you back? Let us know in the comments. With Legato out, who would you be having a crack at in this race? Because you're going to get some serious odds if Legato does get beat. And, mate, to be honest, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not keen enough on anything. I was very, very keen on Conasana last start, and I was just a little bit disappointed with how this horse went. And, only running fourth, I thought it would definitely be a top 3 chance and thought it could win. And the money was on to suggest that it could too. Like, it was massive on Karaka Millions night. But maybe, staying at the mile, maybe a horse like that is the horse that I get off, and then it turns up and wins, and you get $7. But to beat Legato, I just don't know if the horse is good enough. So yeah, I couldn't tip you into anything there, mate, outside of the fave, which you don't want to go around tipping $1.50 shots. Isn't going to excite anyone, is it?
Yeah, the only thing I went back and had a look at this. So Karaka Millions, when Belclair beat Legato 2 years ago, Belclair was third up.
Yes, and second up, the horse is not very good, I think.
Not very good first up, not very good second up. 5-0 for first up, and second up is 6 for 1 second.
Draws pretty tough this time too, but we do get a good track, which is the key for Belclair.
Very, very key for her. But she's had 4 starts third up for 2 wins and a second.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's where she shines. Third and fourth up is like, that's her money time. So the $16 and $3.60, I could see Legato getting beat here, and I could see it getting beat by a horse like Belclair. There's another one in here which I think is a chance as well.
Here we go.
And the one that gave me a little bit of excitement and is because it went 16s into 12s, or 16s out to 17s into 12s, like real quick. So I was like, oh wow, there's a bit of confidence, there's a bit of money around that. So I gave the trainer a message and tried to figure out what's going on here. And all I got back was 1,600 ? Training very well. Yeah, that was it.
And now the people want to know who the horse is.
Oh, Aquarella.
Oh.
Yeah, Tony Pike, Michael McNabb. I thought she was huge last start. Like, she was 3 wide down the whole back straight, which I know doesn't necessarily matter too much because she wasn't going around a corner, but 3 wide, no cover, got around outside the leader, and then was fighting out the finish with Legato in the end there. And I thought she powered through the line quite well, Aquarello. So suggested to me that maybe the 1,600 wouldn't be a huge issue. I forgive 2 starts ago, which I think was on Karaka Millions night, because every other start before that she's been very, very impressive. Right back to when it was New Zealand Cup week on the Wednesday when she won really impressively. And yeah, so Aquarello I think is a very, very good each way chance. I'll probably have an each way go on her and an each way go on Belclair, and I'd probably just drop the favourite.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gee, just lay in the $1.50 shot. I see it's out to 1.6. Is that right? Yeah,
1.6, yeah.
Yeah, so I think what you were saying earlier, you might expect to see some boosted odds on a runner like that because there'll be so many people that will be keen on it. And I think what you're saying is that could be the coming unstuck of the punter getting sucked into the $2 odds.
Yeah. Well, that's
$8,
right. Yeah. Well, that's the noise that I heard. I heard that maybe they might be boosting something like this, and I yeah. My comment was, "Oh, that's a good way for the tab to make some money because horses like this do come unstuck, and when they do boost them, people just punt them." Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how they go. Righto, let's move on, and let's go to the Auckland Cup. We've got a bit of time at the moment. So the Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Cup race number 7. Mate, how good is it to see the likes of Chris Waller bringing horses over and Kieran Maher. This is a very, very exciting field. Where are you looking here, mate? I'll let you go first before I just spew out of my guts about how much I love this other horse.
Yeah, this is I mean, it's tough, isn't it? 3,200 meters. I backed this horse sort of stone from the. I was going to say the grand final, but the Warriors certainly weren't in the grand final. But from Sunday, they're backing it up straight up to 3,200 meters. But yeah, it is good to see some of these Australian trainers. I think they are probably doing their part for New Zealand racing too, given how much effort is going into racing, where they're going, okay, well, like, we're going to back you, we're going to support you, we're going to bring some of these horses over. So it is good to see, and I think the Go Racing crew will be stoked if they can knock off the Auckland Cup here. They got 53 kilos with Tijanis. Now, I think we'll get to, somebody might have made that a best bet, but 8 starts on a good track and only won one of those. Could that be the knock? It has won 4 from 16, but yeah, probably just getting beaten by better horses on those good tracks. So a fair bit of money. I know that when Go Racing really like one, like, they will have a bet. We've seen that before. So $4.40 into $3.50 is probably a good insight that they're pretty keen on this horse. The intriguing horse in here that I thought was, might have gone under the radar was, remember this horse Trav in the Wellington Cup?
Yeah, all over that one, mate.
Yeah.
All over it.
And it gets a good track as well, which is 1-3 on. And it was, I think it ran 4th. Is that right? Yeah. So that was its last start. And pretty sure the Wellington Cup is tougher than the Auckland Cup. So this horse will be, the Wellington Cup's tougher than the Auckland Cup. So this horse will be rock hard fit, but no money on 14s to 19s. But I think that's probably just because it's an unfashionable runner. But yeah, I know that you obviously really like one in here. The other one that we can't ignore is About Time, but you're getting $6 and you're drawn barrier 17, but maybe that doesn't matter too much. Like, it was just beaten by Blue Sky at night, and that horse, like, it just keeps popping up and and winning. But About Time had been very, very consistent and looks so bulky and just looks like an out and out stayer. And then beaten at 2,400 meters. But at Ellerslie, it's 1-3 from 4 and then run second in the other start. So yeah, I feel like this is a horse that the tab are obviously keeping pretty safe. Again, the Australian interpretation, I think I said last time, I was like, leave me off it, not for me. But yeah, it gets a good track, so that'll aid the horse. And I think it was ducking and weaving over the 3,200 meters at Trentham there. But I think, what do you have to? Yeah, you need a Powerade.
Get another beer.
Yeah.
Get another Export Ultra.
I think the person's just completely overlooked you. But yeah, look, mate, 3,200 meters. This is tough. I think About Time is the sort of horse that I'd forgive on that last start loss there. But $6 up to 3,200 meters. Yeah. You give it to the people straight, mate. Well, you're going to be backing because we know that you're keen on one.
Yeah, well, I honestly, I think that Avondale Cup was just like a farcical affair. Like, it was just a gross race. And actually, a lot of those races on that day were just a waste of time. The Avondale Guineas, I think you can just put a complete line through the results, and you just have to take it on the eye for how some of those horses ran. I don't think this race this week with 600k on the line is going to be the same. I think we're going to be running hard, and I think the best horses is going to come out on top, and that might just happen to be Tijanis. Pretty impressive. It's just going to be interesting to see how it's going to go with that travel coming over to New Zealand. We've seen what happened. It was all the hype around interpretation last start, remember? It was taking a lot of money, and everyone thought this thing was just going to kick their heads in. And it didn't. And so Chris Waller's probably not the kind of guy that sort of does that. He's not known for taking horses places and not winning things. So, yeah, I think that's a very, very good chance. But Trav is the other one that I looked at as well. I completely agree with you. How does a horse miss by 16 lengths and then run like a very, very brave fourth over 3,200 meters? So very, very good horse. But for me, I think everyone probably already knows. I love Son of Sun, and I've gone back and looked at that run 50 times. And at about the 600, it just got absolutely bowled over. And then still just ran home really well and looked like a horse that's going to get the 3,200. The barrier draw is a little bit concerning, but I'm just hoping that he can jump and find himself midfield over the 3,200 and get a good, nice rhythm and then just be ready to strike. I'm hoping that there's enough pace in this race that it brings the best stayers into it. And, yeah, 54 kgs. I just wouldn't be surprised to see him bowling over the top of them at $11 and $3.60.
Well, you were $6.90 last start, right? And behind in that same race with Blue Sky at Night and About Time. So like there was still money for this horse. And yeah, Matt Cartwright sticks with. You're getting $11. That's a pretty tidy quote. 11s and $3.60.
Yeah, it's much better than 8s. That's for sure. Let me tell you that.
On the futures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let us know in the comments who you're going to be backing in the Auckland Cup. It's always a tough race to crack, but if you can crack it, then the favourite does get beat. But hey, look, the money would suggest at this stage that they're fairly confident. But you're right around Waller. They bring over Conasana, and it just absolutely, yeah, that was a huge win on Karaka Millions night.
Massive. Righto. So let's move on then to race number 9, the Trackside New Zealand Derby over 2,400 metres. The Avondale Guineas threw an absolute spanner in the works and everyone's heads were spinning. They didn't know which way to look. Like, honestly, the amount of confusion amongst everyone, they were like, I don't know what happened there, but it's like made the whole market confused and no one knows if, Willie Do It was pretty much like had the Derby in one hand already. Like, they were pretty much going to pay out on the dividends. That's what it felt like pre-Avondale Guineas. And then that race happens, and all of a sudden, he's now, he's $3.90. He was $1.90 shot to win the Derby. Crazy happenings. There was some very, very good runs in the Avondale Guineas from, the Doctor of Love coming over from the Bussetton Young stable. I thought Oceania's Dream was great. Kiwi Skyhawk, I thought, was a good run in behind him as well. Amazing Fluke was a good run. Where do you turn?
Yeah, this is again a tough race, especially when you're getting up to 2,400 meters. But yeah, I can't wait. Like I'm pretty keen on Tuxedo in this, and I'm pretty surprised to see it drift from 4.8 to $6.50. I assume that's for money for the other horses, including Willie Do It 4.4 into 3.9. But drawn barrier 16. Well, the money from Bourbon Proof. Gee, just got loud in the background here, didn't it?
And Harkanen as well. Oh,
yeah.
Jesus, they've really turned up the volume there.
They certainly have. Yeah, Harkonnen was massive last start. Geez, 23 into $9.50. Now, I might have had a sizable bet on Harkonnen last start, and just to place as well, but what do we get? 4th. Far out, seriously. Anyway, I just thought the win of Tuxedo at Tarapa there was massive, and this horse was just like he looked so far back and then just picked them up so quickly, picks them up, drops them, including Bourbon Proof, who's the money's coming for, and wins by 3.5 lengths, and almost like starts like pressing out a little bit towards the end. The jockey gets it going again, Joe Doyle, just straightens it up, and it's just going away from them at the line as well. So back to Ellerslie, where I don't think that's going to be an issue. Hasn't won at Ellerslie, but it's run second in its 2 starts there. But in behind Damask Rose, who I'm sure we will talk about shortly. But I just thought, maybe, I think obviously it's gone the other direction compared to the other horses that were in that race that was run as bloody slow as I was going when I got back from Vegas. But I think Tuxedo might just be the overlooked horse, and $6.50, yes please, I'll have a bit of that.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think the Avondale Guineas was such a weirdly run race. It was so slow that I don't think we get much out of it. Like, I don't think we really get any insight onto who the best stayer is in that race. So I don't think we really get any idea. And we can put a line through and give a forgive for some of the other ones. But you're right when you say, well, the Waikato Guineas then is the right form to look at, because that was really impressive. It came from a long way back. It looked really powerful through the line. Yes, it did a few things wrong, but back to Ellerslie, going the other way round. I think it runs a little bit straighter. Will he do it? I can't drop either, but I'm not willing to back it. Like, it just raced so unkindly that if it does that again, it's just not going to see out the 2400. It was still the second fastest last 600, which is pretty impressive considering like it was pulling its head off so much it looked like it was going to break the leather. Like, it was just it was going crazy. The one that I think, and if Matt Daddy was here, he'd be a very happy boy. But the one that I think I'm going to throw up at a price as a roughie, best roughie in the race, Kiwi Skyhawk.
Okay.
He just looks like a horse that's going to get the Derby distance. And if they run this at a very genuine clip, he's drawn barrier 7. He could get an economical run. I wouldn't mind to see him. I wouldn't be surprised to see him running on at a big price if there's going to be a blowout. And the Derby has been known over the years to throw up a blowout or two.
Yeah, for sure. There certainly can be. And I think, a lot of horses can come unstuck. There's 3-year-olds going up to 2,400. And I guess we saw that last start, but that race has been run so slow that now we don't know. But hey, maybe will he do it? Can't do it. And everyone goes, oh, shit, what was all the hype about? But it certainly does look like a pretty good horse. The money was straight on. You got Mick D in the saddle, barrier 14. But, I think it's anyone's race. And obviously, Oceania Dream, the bookies have kept that very, very tight as well. So, I think this market will move and fluctuate quite a bit as we get closer to the race. And I think Tuxedo could be the drifter too. I just think that maybe that race the other day, people will go, you know what, like, that's not the form race to follow into it. But for me, I thought that was massive, and over 2,000 metres looks like it'll get every metre of 2,400 metres. So I'll be sticking with Tuxedo even from barrier 16.
Nice one. The barrier draw might be the thing putting people off, because the Avondale Guineas was so slowly run. If you get back, you might have no chance of getting into it. But yeah, I tend to agree with you. Right, the big one, race number 8, the NZB Kiwi, $3.5 million on the line. This has been more than 12 months in the making to come up with this race. I remember going to the sales yard at Karaka with you, which seems like a lifetime ago, to watch the slot auction and thinking about, mate, what could be? Like, this is gonna be fucking epic.
No, I didn't go to that. You must have gone to that with Matt.
But did I just meet Matt Daddy, was it?
Yeah, I think it was you and Matt. But I went to the announcement about the race from Ellerslie, and it was kind of like, what the fuck is this announcement going to be, man? Like, what's happened now? What's going on? And it was like, well, okay, a slot race? Okay. But yeah, to see it actually about to play out and seeing some of these Aussies over here, and there's so much going on this week, and the coverage has been unreal. And I hope this really puts New Zealand racing into Australian eyeballs on Saturday as well, which I'm sure it will. But it is cool to see innovation and something get created out of nothing. And that's really hard to do. And for everybody in their life to actually take something and build it and go, like, now we're going to make that happen. I think, of a lot of things in racing, you kind of turn up and you just take it for granted, but you don't see all of the shit that goes on behind it to actually to make it happen. So, yeah, they've put a big amount of resource and effort into this, and I'm sure this will just be the start of it. And hopefully this is a slot race that just continues to grow and to innovate. So it's going to be exciting to be there on Saturday and see the first iteration.
Yeah, and probably maybe just before we go jump into the race, I think it's probably important to give people like, Emma Thompson and even Andrew Gordy, a big shout out for the work that they've put in the background to build something like this, because like you say, they've basically taken a concept and built, what this is. And it actually really it brought it home for me the other day when I was at the barrier draw watching the people break the eggs and whatever. Yeah. But the anticipation in the room was like unreal. Like, I was standing right behind a lady that was associated with Evaporate, and they didn't end up getting their egg until the last one. And every time there was another one picked out, she was like, "Oh no, oh no!"
Hopes are evaporating.
Yeah, they were. But it was just very cool to see that sort of suspense and energy. I mean, there's so much money on the line. It's very, very cool. Right.
Before we do get into the runners, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
I can't get any bloody internet, so I'm in big trouble here. But I went on the Tab site earlier.
Oh yeah, here it is.
To have a look at, instead of my phone, but to have a look at what was happening in the market. And I see this promo, and I haven't seen anything about this, so I don't know if people have seen this out here as well, but back any horse to win the NZB Kiwi, and if it places in the top 3, be in to win one of 5 $20,000 cash prizes. T's and C's apply. Like, I'm clicking on that being like, is this a fucking typo? Like, are they giving away 100 G's cash
Yeah.
to people who have a crack at this? Like, actual cash, not just bonus cash as well, that you've got to turn over 16 times or something, or, I don't know. So I'm clicking on the T's and C's, and I couldn't get them loaded up, but I see that they're on the screen here now. So anyway, I'll certainly be having a read through these T's and C's and run them through ChatGPT and see if what the go is. But that's pretty bloody exciting as well. So I see that there's a couple of those throughout. Well, that's pretty big. And then even in the first race, back a horse in race 1 at Ellerslie this Champions Day and get up to $25 back in bonus cash if it doesn't win. Now, I believe, well, my assumption would be that's a bit of a free shot in race 1, purely because that is a very, very tough race. And they're not going to want people doing their cash in that race 1. They're probably like, righto, well, at least you can then have a bonus bet on something should you want to. But anyway, outstanding promo in race 8. If 5 people are going to win 20 grand. So not only am I going to win the BGP comp, I'm then going to take 20 grand off the tab as well. I've paid for Vegas already.
maybe you paid for the flights. 30 grand. Holy, yeah, that's huge, man. That
20. Oh yeah, for me, yeah, I'll get 30.
30 yeah. Someone's going to win 30 grand because I was almost guaranteed that someone in the room's going to get that winner. Right, Kiwi. Why don't you kick us off, mate? Let us know what you think. I mean, I think there's so many chances in this race and so many different form lines that it's built something really exciting. But where have you landed?
Oh yeah, this race is deeper than bloody Lake Taupo, which I believe is one of the deepest lakes in New Zealand. Got no stats to back that up, but anyway, I'm going to stick with Damask Rose. Now, I thought it was very, very impressive in the Karaka Millions. They have, I think they've been very deliberate that this is a very good horse and they've got a big opinion of her. And I saw the $8 yesterday and thought, like, you know what, I've got to have a go. I didn't mind Sought After when it was first taken, but obviously we haven't seen it for such a long time now. You're getting 34s. Yeah, like probably can they get the work into it to be ready for Saturday? I don't know. I wouldn't put it past the O'Sullivan Scott team to have that horse firing. But all of the money is for Evaporate. $2.70. That opening quote has evaporated, hasn't it? Into $2.35 now. It was pretty bloody impressive in its first couple of starts in this campaign as it starts to target this Kiwi. So I'd imagine that the old Hayes crew, we've seen them floating around before, just walking in the door now, I believe, have come over here and they're pretty confident that they can take some of that New Zealand cash and they can times it by 0.9 and turn it back into Australian dollars. But I don't want to see that happen, Excuse my French, but fuck the Aussies.
Well, they have done it already in the BCD group sprint, so they can take that and fuck off. They've got enough.
But exactly, and then they got the Doctor of Love the other day. But look, I don't think it's going to be as easy as just turning up here with a really grouse horse and just taking the cash off us. I think that we've got horses in this field that could level up in Australia. But I just think we get excited when we see something come from Australia. Obviously, it's got form, where it's only a couple of lengths off Mr. Brightside and Tom, I'm a Pussycat Kitten. And, of course, I wish I win. So I think that's behind all of the money for this horse. But, for me, I'm going to stick with Damask Rose. I know they've got a big opinion of the horse. I thought it was very good in the Karaka Millions. Now, also, before I left Vegas, I was playing the slots, and it was 888 credits. And it's like $8.88 a spin. Now, Damask Rose is drawn 8, is number 8, and is paying $8. For me, there's the omen bet. That's enough. I'm on Damask Rose.
Oh, God, I'm not going to hang out with your witchcraft, but I'm
Sick,
happy with Damask Rose as well. You're a sick man. I tend to agree with you. Like Evaporate, I got on at 5, so I'm on at 5 on Evaporate, and I'm very, very happy with that. And I was even more happy when its last start fourth, sitting 3 wide, running a length and a half behind Mr. Brightside, the kitty, and I wish I win. I was like, man, that's sexy form, and rated like through the roof as well, like almost 10 points higher rating than any other horse in this race, which is just mind-boggling. Drawn 10, I don't think we're just going to give it to them. I don't think they're just going to be able to come over here and push us out the way and just take it. So I think they're going to have to work for it. The other one I thought was potentially a chance if it got a good barrier draw was Penman. But a good friend Daniel Narkle put a pin through that when he went up and got number 13
Ouch.
Out of his golden egg on Saturday. I still think it's a chance, but it's going to be very, very hard from 13. I thought it was very impressive in a rating 65. Damask Rose, I'm with you. I think I'm definitely going to have a bet on that. I've already got my 5s on Evaporate, so I'm happy. But I'm also going to have a crack at Pivotal 10.
Oh, Pivotal 10, the
I
South
am.
Island runner.
There's Sammy. All I do is win, 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 and hopefully she does keep winning for me on Saturday. But chatting to Brendan Lindsay for quite an extended period of time, actually, about a few different things. Snazzy Tavi was one of them, but then we got on to Pivotal 10, and just a confidence in the way that everyone had spoken about this horse and how it had been in the works to try and buy part of this horse for a while. And he said, I think he said, I had to pay a bit more than I wanted to get that half. But he said, I got told that this is the one and you need to get it.
Shit.
And so that sort of filled me with confidence, knowing that, yes, it's drawn 12, but it's a go-forward horse. I think it's a strong, fit horse at the moment. And the times it's been running are absolutely sensational. So I think that that's a real, genuine chance at $13 and $3.50. I reckon we'll get maybe $15 on the day, because I don't think it's necessarily maybe the flash combinations that you get with Tiakau and Blake Shin and those sort of stories where maybe more of the Aussie money will gravitate to. But I reckon it'll just be the greatest story. Imagine Sam Wynn comes up from the South Island with this horse, wins the Kiwi. It'll be grandstand dropping moment.
An Irish woman wins the Kiwi.
Yeah.
Trains, rides, and wins. How good that would be! And his last name is Win. That's a hell of a story. That, hey, you can count on Ted. He's watching, and he texted me already. He said the deepest lake in New Zealand is Lake Hauruku in Fiordland, 462 meters deep. Is there anything the man doesn't know?
That's a mystery as well. Yeah.
Just absolutely loves it, doesn't our Teddy? But hey, what about Sathito? Would that be, of the O'Sullivan Scott runners, would that be your pick of their runners? Unreal to have, they got 4 in the race?
Yeah. That's probably something we need to mention as well. I mean, obviously, congratulations to them. That's an unreal effort to have that many horses in the race. Well, they got Checkmate, Sought After, Sathito.
Like $10 for me. Like, this horse has won 3, and then it got beaten by Hitterbell. It was just beaten. Blake Shim was on board, and Real Class was just in behind that as well. We know how good Real Class is, but it was wide without cover, shifted out near the Hundy. It was held up in its last run, but still managed to win. Like, it beat Dealt With and Tadali, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. But it beat Pussy Gear as well, the start before that. Like, it's just, to get $10 on a horse like that, barrier 7, with the way Sam Spratt's riding as well, for me, I think that's probably the horse, and I think that Waikato Stud would be very happy to have Super Sef win that race. This horse is going to be screwed down, and I think that could be the pick of the bunch, and that'll be... I've already got my bet on Damask Rose at 8. I'll take that, and I'll probably be having something on Sathito and laying the Aussie favourite, knowing that that'll probably start around the $2 mark with all the Aussie money just piling into it, and they get unstuck.
Yeah,
in the Kiwi.
Sathito's their best chance. That's from the stable, so
Perfect.
I think it's sort of
what I want to
probably
hear.
the most dynamic horse and is probably their best chance on the day.
Oh, I'm getting fired up now, mate.
All right.
Shit.
Let's jump into it, mate. Best bets this weekend, of course. Reminding everyone that we've got all the harness best bets. We've got the harness hit on Friday night, but then we've got 4 boosted runners, and then we'll also, if you comment on the social media and give us who you think your best bet is this weekend, we're going to be boosting the People's Champions as well. So there'll be 5 boosted runners in total.
When are we going to do that? We're going to do that tomorrow? Like, pick one of those tomorrow?
I'm going to have to pick it tonight.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to have to go through tonight. And
Well, there are a shit ton of comments. There's 36 already on the pod. There's about 150 on the post. So, mate, you can borrow my abacus if you want.
Yeah, right, mate. No worries. I'll start tonight, and I might have it done by 3 a.m.
Good man.
Right, let's jump into it, mate. I'll start off with the harness, and I'll go with the Scanman's best bet. Westport, meeting 8, race number 5, a horse called Stanley's Rule, $10 and $2.90. Slightly over the odds here, a horse that clearly saves his best for his home track with 3 wins and 3 placings from 8 starts. Will only need some luck in transit to give this a big fight. So that's Stanley's Rule, race number 5 at Westport on Friday.
Right, Markham's best is Westport, meeting 8, race 7, Francette. quite possibly the best horse to come off the coast in the past decade, this one. Huge win at Methven in a very similar grade and beat home 3 horses who have since won, with the runner-up on that occasion still finishing second twice as well. Leading female driver on the bike, very fast and should have the final say. Meeting 8, race 7, Francette.
And that is also our harness hit this weekend as well. So this horse was smacked in $4.50 into $3. We've screwed it back out to $4 already as well. So Francet, Markham's Best is also the harness hit. Gasso's Best Bet, Westport, meeting 8, race number 8, a horse called Normie Steed. $6.50 and $1.80. This will be his third run for the Negus Barn. Last 2 runs have been very good and finding the line hard. Looks ready to strike at nice odds.
Fitzy's Best, Westport, meeting 8, race number 6, Getty Mac. The red flashing light was on last starter. She did plenty of work and fought hard for second behind a smart one at Addington. Expected to take fitness improvement from that and likes the grass. A few people in Vegas like the grass too. It was legal over there. Unruly draw might actually work in her favour here, as she looks like she could get a decent cart through it though. Open $9, was straight into $7.50, showing owner confidence.
Nice one,
Sounds
mate.
like Fitzy knows something that we don't. Before we get into the gallops, mate, I do have a special best bet that I need to read out. Now, my partner Taz, she calls herself the Sydney specialist, and she's been going very good. She went, I think, 3 weeks back to back, and she basically said, well, like, do I get a best bet? I'm like, hang on. I'm like, you got to have them in Wednesday. What are we, 7 p.m. on a Wednesday? But here it is, 8 p.m. on a Thursday, and she's just got it through. Admittedly, it was 7:14, but she's 24 hours late, but we'll give her a chance. She's going to Sydney. I'm sure some of you will like this one too. Calls herself the Sydney specialist, Switzerland. That's all the write-up is. Switzerland, race 8, $4.80. Get on. She's going for about 4 weeks in a row, so just stick with it.
Pull more.
No doubt. No doubt.
How good. All
I
right,
don't even
thanks.
need to look to know that that'll be the detail. Yeah.
Thanks, Taz. She has been going very well. Like, she keeps finding winners. I love the oil that comes through from Taz, so keep it up. Right, Matt Daddy's Best Bet, and this is one of the first ones that screwed out. So this is one of the blessed boosted runners from BGP. You can find that
Match
on
champion.
Match Champion on the Futures page, of Futures section of the racing page.
Yeah, that's it.
He's gone to the end of the program. Race number 10, a horse called Tardelli to run top 3. $1.95, might be $2 or $2.05 now, top 3. Boosted out to $2.40. In a race set up for emergencies for the Kiwi. This horse has great form around some strong contenders to win the Kiwi, as well as finishing 2 lengths of Savagely 3 starts ago. We'll need a gun ride from McNabb as he's drawn the wide barrier draw. But handling it at his last start in 1,500 metres this time gives me a bit more distance to find a spot. Boosting to top 3 for a bit more security to end Champions Day on a high. $2.40. That's pretty good money.
Yeah, $2.40. He's pretty happy with that. Very happy with that. Should we work backwards and then go race 9 and then go in reverse? We normally go from the early to the later.
So let's do that.
Hey, I'm going to be in tuxedo. I said I like it. I'm going to put my tuxedo on and get along to a huge day's racing at Ellerslie on Saturday. This horse was massive in the Waikato Guineas, putting 3.5 lengths on them, and I sense a bit of confidence in the camp. A good second behind Damask Rose and the Karaka Millions, who I also like. This horse keeps stepping up in distance and performing well. I'm going top 2. Just in case he can't quite pick up a leader on that Ellerslie track, and I have my heart break and I have to throw my tuxedo off of the balcony. But this horse hasn't missed the top 2 in 5 starts. I know it's a bold quarter, just expect that they can do that in a derby, but I don't think it will miss the top 2 again on Saturday. Stack a packet from your jacket and get paid with tuxedo. Top 2, $2.90 out to $4. I think you actually might get a bit more because this horse is on the drift, so I think it's already moved out in the top 2 market. So we expect that we might get a bit more than just $4 as well.
So hang on to your boots before you're back of that one. $100 maximum bet, remember, for all these boosted runner. Ted's Best Bet. He's gone to the Auckland Cup race number 7. The Chris Walla Walla Make a Dollar to Jarnis. $3.50 boosted out to $4.50. So this horse was punted automatically $4.50 to $3.50. We've screwed it all the way back out to $4.50. Chris Waller runner who didn't cross the Tasman on Sunday just to look at the scenery. His last 4 starts have all been at 2,400 for a second, a fourth, and winning his last 2 very nicely. He has won over 2,816 metres in Europe. Lightweight, good draw from here. He should get a soft run and can prove too strong in the run home to win the Auckland Cup. So that's Ellerslie race number 7 to Jarnis. $3.50 out to $4. Take the boosted option. My best bet is in race number 5, and I've gone with a horse called Aquarello to run top 4. $2.60 boosted out to $3.50. She was very good last start behind Legato. I thought she was strong to the line after sitting outside the leader. She should get an economical run from barrier 2, which she will need for her first time up to the 1600, which I think is the only question mark here. I'll take the top 4 option and hope she can jump, be positive, and see out the 1600.
Well, the GOAT, he's not going to go to Champions Day. He'll be there in the flesh, but he loves his CD form and his CD races. He's going to New Plymouth in meeting for race number 1, Amend. Now, the rail is out. This is the first race of the day. It's a good recipe for a leader at New Plymouth. Amend will lead them over the 1100 metres and will prove too quick for his rivals. Now, I believe you can get that on the odds surge as well, so you are getting a good quote around Amend on Saturday. You're currently getting $4.60. Now, there's been a power of money for Silent as Gold, which was second on Sunday, and I know because I backed it and got beat by Lhasa. So anyway, you're getting $4.60 at the moment for the odds surge for Amend. So you can get your day started at 12:33 at New Plymouth.
How good. That is a wrap. Remember, get your comments in as soon as you can. I'll be choosing a champion tonight, and that'll be the People's Champion. It'll be getting boosted out. Everyone can have a chance to have a crack at it. On the day, on Saturday, we're going to be giving everyone the insights on how our bets are performing, including total payouts, how much invested turnover, so we can get a real feel like we're taking on the tab, and hopefully we can take the tab for $1 million.
Oh, mate.
Just all the punters getting involved on the BGP blessed bets.
How good would it be if everybody in BGP won the $20,000 prizes?
Oh, that would be sexy.
They've got? We grab $100,000 back from here over the last little while, because we found one winner last week, which is a little bit of a lean week, but we haven't been going too badly. Are you keeping that spreadsheet updated?
Yeah, it's kind of gone off the boil a little bit.
Shit.
But I've got another guy. He's got graphs. He's got everything.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. No, he's going to keep us updated.
Right. Well, we've only got a few weeks of the podcast to go, don't we?
Yeah, we do. So the last one. Well, we're only doing next week, aren't we?
Yeah, we're doing a wrap up next week. It's been a big season. Then we're going to continue to do a couple of best of BGPs until the racing starts to turn. And I believe we might be doing the Oaks as the last weekend, so we can still get our best bets out to everyone. And then we'll be done for the season. But let's tear into a massive day on Saturday. I'm looking forward to getting along. There's still tickets available if people do want to come along. See the BGP app or go to the Ellerslie website. You should be able to find it. A reminder that we are running a free competition for everybody who does come along to the room to win $10,000 for first prize in the very simple competition. $2,500 cash if you're second, and $2,500 bonus cash courtesy of the TAB if you come third in that. So, mate, bring it on. The day is here.
Pretty easy, mate. Yeah, if you need tickets and you still haven't got them, go to ellerslie.co.nz, go to the tickets page for Champions Day, and the tickets are available there. We're the only show in town. There's no other hospitality tickets available. Enjoy your weekend. We are absolutely fired up. Looking forward to the weekend, and we'll catch you on the other side.
Good luck.